what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Sean, you're muted.
Oh, bingo, bongo, bango. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning to the VIP group that I had muted. So it is January 20th, episode 1423. The conversation today is about discovery. And this discovery is about finding out the laws that you are using to make the universe work for you. We listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson this morning. I just love listening to him, his delivery, his pace, and the tone of his voice. And to me, he's right up there with Morgan Freeman in his delivery. So that being said, a couple of things to become aware of. What are some rules that you discovered that no longer serve you, that served you in a way that allowed you to have access to a certain level of success? And now the rules are required. There's a requirement that the rules be updated. The rules change a little bit. The rules have a little bit of some flexibility, or maybe you have to throw out the rules altogether and start with some new ones. That's the conversation today. That's what I want you to think about. One of the best ways to become a good observer, to a good discoverer of the rules, is to become aware. And in your awareness, find out, is this serving me? See, all too often, there's a phrase that say, men die at 23 and we bury them at age 65. So many people give up on their dreams. So many people give up on their wants, their wishes, their desires, because they said enough is enough, and they decided to get in lockstep with average. Let me let you in on a little secret. This idea of a comfort zone, this idea of your comfort zone, you can call it your pain-free zone. And the reason that it's pain-free is because you've become so used to it. You've become so accustomed to it. You've become so, you've allowed it to become so predictable to you. So the question is that this pain-free zone that you're in, it's not really comfortable. How many of you, I could never do it. My legs never bent like that. How many of you sit on your leg and you go and sit down? And I watch women do this all the time. They fold their leg underneath them and they sit down. And I don't know how that's comfortable, but it is. It does something. I don't know if it opens up the hip flexors or it does something. But I've seen on very regular occasions, they get up and their leg is pins and needles. And they're like, oh, and they can't walk on it. You would think you would discover that when you sit on your leg, you're going to get pins and needles. That's what I called it growing up. What is the discovery that needs to take place that right now your desire, your wants, your wish, your wonders, it's got you numb to your true self? So how do you start off? How do you go down this road of discovery? It's by becoming aware. It's by asking bigger questions. It's by asking things like a QLQ. The 2-hour training I did a couple of weekends ago, if you want to go see it, you can go to SeanGMurphy.com/QLQ. And you can have access to this 2-hour conversation, 2-hour training, hour conversation of live Q&A recorded for you. You can go check that out. And this idea of becoming a discoverer, looking on the horizon and saying what's out there, is required today. It's a necessity for success, to discover new things, to discover new social media platforms, new ways to perform on the platforms, new ways to engage through the platforms, new ways to have conversations with people. My question to you is this: are you ready to become a discoverer? Are you ready to have a new discovery? See, even asking that question takes you out of the place of average, right? Think about the people who walked on the moon, right? Do we ever say walked on moon? It's always the moon, I guess, because there's only one, right? I don't know. There's grammar. That's the way squirrel brain works. So the people who walked on the moon, the challenge is when you create, when you're that part of a big discovery, the biggest challenge they had was when people in the Apollo missions came back from their moon journey, their travel to the moon, is they got wildly depressed. Wait, what? Yep, they had the ticket tape parade, they walked on the moon, they did all these things, and they became wildly depressed. Why? Because they didn't have anybody to talk to. What's next? What's the next big thing you do? There was nothing bigger than walking on the moon, going to the bottom of the ocean. Okay, yeah, but another celestial planet, another celestial orb in space, only a handful of people have done it. The astronaut community has finally been able to deal with this scenario when they go up to the space station. And they're there for 40 days, 500 days, 300 days, whatever the delay, the duration is. They come back, they've flown around space 30 times and 60 times in a day. I don't know, the number's crazy how many times they go around the planet. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. It's like that song from Fiddler on the Roof. So my question is discovery. What will you discover today? Will you discover new ways to create income? Will you discover new ways to surprise your friends with love and joy and peace and happiness? Will you surprise your family with a level of calmness? Will you discover that you can be so much better by being in your best state? Will you discover, here's the big one, will you discover what Edison discovered, 9,999 ways to not make a light bulb? Will you discover one of the tens of thousands of ways that your success is not being fulfilled? That in of itself, discover one of those and your life changes forever. Discover a way that your success is not being fulfilled. What would change? What would change if you stopped a habitual action? What would change if you discovered a self-talk that's not serving you? What would change if you discovered a meal plan that's not working for you? What if you discovered what dehydration is doing to your brain and to your body and to your soul and to your spirit? What if you discovered that not being rich and keeping your family in poverty? Sean, that's a pretty big statement, poverty. Here's my definition of poverty. There's something you want and you can't have it because of finances. I'm not saying you're at the poverty level. I'm just saying poverty is wanting something and can't getting it because you can't afford it. Maybe the discovery is that you need a rewire in your brain on how you see money. Maybe you need a rewire in your spirit of how much self-worth you allow for yourself. Maybe what happens when you discover poverty? Some people, it fires them up. Some people, it gets a fire underneath them. It lights them. It becomes that phrase, light yourself on fire. They'll come from miles around to watch you burn in desire. How many of you keep tiptoeing around the idea that one day, possibly soon, you're going to do something? How many of you keep tiptoeing around the idea that if I go there, there's something new I'm going to learn. There's something new that I'm going to become. There's something new. I have no idea. See, that's discovery. Discovery is stepping into the frontier, facing the frontier. So many people have got their back to their future. They're not even paying attention to what's going. They can't until it passes them by and they go, oh, I should have done that. I should have done, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. Turn your butt around. Step in to your future looking fully into it. You know why most people don't like to look into their future? You know why most people don't like to discover their future as it's happening? Because there's so much unknown. Well, how is there so much unknown if the law of attraction is truly the law of attraction? Why don't you, what if you discovered that the law of attraction can help you morph, can help you organize your future? You set a goal, you had a dream, you haven't discovered it yet because you keep saying, well, someday, tomorrow. You have this procrastination, you have this mindset that keeps you stuck, you have this limiting belief. This is where dangerous consciousness allows you the opportunity to fully engage the idea and the concept that you can influence your future. You can influence your future. Hell, you could influence my future. How many of you have somebody, let me take the pressure off you. How many of you know somebody, listen carefully, how many of you know somebody that they have somebody in their life that if they have to talk to them, it ruins their day? And they have to talk to them. They're either a colleague, a coworker, an ex. Drop a 1 in the chat if you know somebody that has somebody in their life that you hear the story about. I had to talk to so-and-so today. Oh my God. Right? See, they can influence their future. They haven't even talked to them. They're not even, listen, if now I'm going to bring it back to you. I'm going to bring it back home. This might hurt a little bit. How many of you have ever had an argument with somebody? Listen carefully. You've had an argument with somebody and they're not in the room. Oh, it cracks me up. I'll have people call me, students call me, and they'll say, "Oh my God, I can't believe this," and they're in this fight. And I'll ask them. I go, "Are you safe?" "Yeah, I'm safe." Why do you ask?" I said, "You seem very distressed." "Yeah, I'm distressed." "Are they in the house?" "No." "Are they in the room?" "No." Are they outside the house?" "No." Who the hell are you arguing with? They're not even in the room. And you're calling them crazy. You're the one that's crazy. Who are you arguing with? They're not even in the room. And you wonder why you're missing out on the moments. See, when you discover how much time you give away to the past, which doesn't serve you now, and how much time you give away to the future, which doesn't serve you now. I'm not saying live in the future. I'm saying face the future, stand in the now, look forward, and have your quantum questions, your quantum linguistic questions, spinning up the energy in the universe it will deliver everything to you. Everything you want as close as your skin. The challenge is that we're facing this way and we have no influence in our future because we're looking at our past saying, I don't want that. And the universe doesn't hear the negative. The quantum field doesn't hear the negative, and it says, I want that. And then all of a sudden it comes by again. You go, I'll be damned if my life isn't repeating itself year in, year out, year in, year out. What if you discovered that today you're worth a raise? What if you discovered today that your energy, your existence is worth more. How much more? How much more are you worth than what you're getting compensated for right now? Listen, there's not a mom on the planet that when their child who is not feeling well gets a good night's sleep, that's not payment in full. There's not a dad on the planet who loves their daughter and takes her to ballerina class or has a date. I know dads with daughters who they look for date night. It is the greatest thing, makes them so proud. Gives their little girl, opens the door, pulls out the chair. Just unbelievable. The level of pride. Going on a date with your daughter. What's the thing that you want to discover today? What's the thing you want to discover today that will elevate your greatness? See, Jim Rohn said, if you want to increase your income, provide more value to the marketplace. Income are like rungs on the ladder. The higher you go, the more value you create. What's the value you're going to create in the universe today? What discovery needs to happen? See, when I coach people and I tell them at the end of the night, ask yourself 3 wonderful questions. Jim Rohn said, don't start your day till it's finished on paper. What are your intentions for tomorrow? And the best way to get a good jump on tomorrow is start the night before. Start when your brain goes to sleep. Give it something to dream about versus the scary movies you watched or the old ex that you saw on Facebook is going out with somebody else and they got the younger model, or maybe you're the younger model and somebody's stalking you because you're the one that they've now fallen in interest with. And all of these things that just squirrel. 3 questions. What I do well. Question number 2, what could I have improved upon? What could I have done just a smidge better? That gives you space for growth. 3rd question, what talent, skill, or resource do I need to come into my life tomorrow? See, when you ask that, you're spinning up the quantum field. When you add some emotion to this, gratitude. When you add some desire, some passion, some focus to it, gratitude. When you ask the universe and you spin up the quantum field, what talent, skill, or resource do I need to find tomorrow, come into my life, show up, smack me in the head with a 2x4? What will make my day better? You activate the RAS, the reticular activating system in your brain, and you spin up the quantum field with electricity and energy. And then inside, sometimes in your dream world, you have the emotional state. How many of you drop a F in the chat if you've ever been sleeping and thought you were going to fall off a cliff, right? How many of you drop an F in the chat if that's ever been you? You're sleeping and you wake up and you get one of those things because you thought you were falling. Now, sometimes it was my brother pushing me out of the bed, but that was a whole nother story. What's the discovery that's just waiting for you? What's the discovery that is looking for you? See, here's the thing that I understand about science. Listen carefully. If I have 2 things that have a magnetic field to them, I've got, I got this light and I got this box. And there's a magnetic field between these things, right? There's a magnetic field. If I move them really far away, the magnetic field that each of these give off has not changed. The influence they have over each other weakens. So as your dream is far away, you get inklings. You start to discover, oh, that was different. What was that? You get this little nudge. You get what I call God whispers. And when they show up, God winks. Or God-cidences. It's like, oh, that was weird. Oh, that, I like that. That was good. Do that again. I like that. And what happens is when you discover that frequency, that harmony, when you discover it, it starts to move towards you. The thing you are seeking is seeking you. And I often relate it to this discovery. If you've ever been at a bar and discovered somebody that really grabbed your attention, sound of their voice, the smell of their perfume, the look of their hair, the look of their curves, the look of their chiseled chin. That's usually for the guys. And you discover an awakening inside of you. And here's what happens. Here's what happens. You're staring it down. You are like, oh my goodness. Katie bar, the door, room, what was yeah, my squirrel brain just went off. But you're like, yeah, baby, right? Austin Power, yeah, baby. And you're staring them down. And you're like, I can't stop looking. They're amazing. It's what I've seeked. It's what I've sought. It's what I'm seeing. It's what I'm believing. I can't believe they're here. That I can't, oh my gosh. And you're looking at them and you're looking at them. Do you see this? Do you see this over here? Oh. And then they look at you. And what do you do? No, da, da, la, 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 la. Wow, look at all the dollar bills on the ceiling. Anybody been to a bar where there's dollar bills on the ceiling? St. John's has one. Oh my gosh, look at all the dollar bills. Wow, look at that. And then you try to, are they still looking? Are they still looking? Could you imagine how pissed off your dream is, that's been searching for you, that's been looking for you, that's been for the millennial in the production, that's been for the millennium. Did I say millennial? In the millenniums of production. And it goes, I think they're going to see me. I think they're looking for me. I think I know where they're looking. And they make eye contact with you. Your dream makes eye contact with you. You discover your dream, and all of a sudden, you turn away. And the thing with celestial bodies, with planetary systems, your dream is a huge dream. It has momentum. It has gravity. It has mass. Yes? Drop an M in the chat if your dream has mass. If it came into your existence, it would literally change everything about you. Your dream has mass. So here's the thing. When you make eye contact with it and it finally turns around and sees you and you see it, don't turn away. Don't turn away. It's the turning away that makes you, I don't know, kind of like Moses. You tap the stone a second time, you're going to be wandering for another 40 years. This is what definite major purpose does. When you discover your definite major purpose, when you discover that this is what I'm here for, it can advance, it can adapt, it can adopt, it can improve, it can change. But right now, when you discover what your definite major purpose is, and when you decide what you're here for, and you are looking for it because it is looking for you, the second you lock eyes, do not break energy contact. It's the hardest thing. It's called becoming aware. Oh my gosh, that's the dream I've been looking for. This is your wind up in harmony. Napoleon Hill calls it applied faith. I have faith that it's there. I have faith that that's the one. I have faith that it's right. This isn't like the meme where it's the beautiful hair and the guy's looking at this one beautiful woman with all of this beautiful hair, and it turns around as a guy with a beard. The universe has a sense of humor. It is not vicious like that. That only happens in commercials and in sometimes real life. So what are you ready to discover? I'm asking you to become the stargazer, the trailblazer, the road less traveled, take the fork in the road, the one that just says, I'm going to go find it. And the easiest way to find it is to take the hard look at your definite major purpose. And your definite major purpose becomes a lot less difficult when you finally understand the formula for gratitude. The formula for gratitude is the absolute faith and belief that it is done. And that's the discovery I would encourage you to begin to embark on. The discovery of your biggest, massive, amazing, gravitational field of your dreams, it being done. Because in that state of harmony and vibration and applied faith, you are going to have things drawn to you in a way they've never been drawn to you, faster than they've ever been drawn to you, quicker, simpler, with more complexity and design already built in. It's easy. It's not simple. It's easy. It's not simple. I'd encourage you to take the journey of discovery today. Join me tomorrow on this same Saturday, 8 a.m., where I teach you 3 of the most powerful questions you could ever use that you could look for an answer for that would allow you to have discoveries of epic proportions, called clarify, qualify, and create expectation with your whoever else you're engaged in a dialogue with. When you understand the power behind these 3 questions, no seems to fade away from your prospect's conversation. All of that I teach is not theory. It's not some script. It's not something. I use them every single day, and I teach them to my students. And now I want you to have them because of this amazing, crazy world we live in right now. It would help people to have some clarity, and quality conversation, and some amazing expectations. And I know you can deliver on every one of those. So see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Same bat time, same bat channel, same link. Invite some friends. I'll see you where? I'll see you at the next event. Till then, bye for now. And YouTube, love you tons. Hope you have an amazing day. I will see you where? At the next, tomorrow morning, the the Clarify, Qualify, Create Expectation conversation. I'll see you there in the morning. Till then, bye for now. 8 a.m. Central Standard Time.